All right. Welcome back, everyone. We're going to go straight into this topic this week. No BSing around. We're just going to do a little quick sponsor thing right into the Anthony's Jewelers. Show you that quick. Per the usual, same thing every week. You guys know the deal. Links up top. Book appointment down below. The 6 options are there. You already know what's going on. Phone number right on the page. Go give a call to Mr. Anthony Manzo. He's a good guy. He's going to help you out. Go get some jewelry. You know what the deal. And also make sure if you do go, mention Lil Rhody Sports Talk sent you. But this week, we are hopping right into the topic that I think a lot of people want to know, even if you're just a basketball fan. We're just going to talk Celtics. Celtics season, Celtics offseason. Obviously, if you guys saw the news, now Brad Stevens is now the president of the Celtics, and Danny Ainge is retired. I'm going to put that in air quotes. He's retired. But yeah, that's pretty massive news. But I think we'll start quick and just look back at this season. I'll let Josh and Kyle start of what they thought went wrong for the Celtics this past season, because now they're out, officially eliminated. So
Well, I think the first problem was just overall talent on the team. You had your two All-Stars who did their thing, but then after that, they really didn't have much support. Marcus Smart, as good as he is defensively, and the effort he puts in when he plays, which is amazing. Like, you can never take that away from him. He just, like, the role he was put in, like, as a spot-up shooter. I mean, I know he's been on the team the longest, so if anyone deserves to take certain shots, yeah, you could say it's him, but at the same time, he just didn't thrive in a role where he's taken like high volume threes. Tristan Thompson didn't live up to what we thought he could do for us. Robert Williams was good, but with the minute restriction, it was tough to get consistency. Yeah, like we just needed more, like in just overall scoring. Fournier came in, he helped a little. I would like to bring him back, but I heard he wants a pretty big contract, like
yeah,
100 mil or something, or 80 mil, 4 years.
yeah, it was like 20 mil a year or
Yeah,
something.
20 mil a year. I don't know if he's necessarily worth that, but he did play hard. I did like him. But I just think like going into next year, Celtics need to focus in on kind of like what Philly did, bring in sharpshooters of 3-and-D players. I think like surround Tatum and Brown with those guys, and then just get a solid big.
Yeah. What do you think, Kyle? What was the main? What do you think was the main reason why the Celtics went 500 in the regular season and pretty much got torched in the first round by the Nets?
I'd have to say it's pretty much Kemba Walker. Because listen, he did decent. Like, he averaged 19.3 and, little cute stats, 5 assists. But then when it came to playoffs, this man didn't show up. Where the hell was he? Like, how are you going to average 12 points a game? You can't win playoff games doing that, especially when you're the leading point guard. You're making silly passes. You're making silly turnovers, missing important shots, giving it to people who really shouldn't have the ball. And you're doing it against a team that'll just kill you offensively as soon as they get the ball.
Yeah.
It's just dumb stuff like that.
My thing is to answer the question. My answer comes from the beginning part of the season before it started. The roster management wasn't good by Danny Ainge because he replaced Gordon Hayward with Tristan Thompson. That's basically that was the swap because he lost him, and then he ended up using the exception from Gordon Hayward going to the Hornets, for Fournier. So in the end, you got Fournier and Tristan Thompson for Gordon Hayward. So it's like that's not bad. But if Fournier leaves in free agency, then you got 20 games out of him, and then you lost in the first round. And Fournier didn't produce fully what you expected because at first he got COVID.
Right.
He missed 2 weeks. Then he came back and shot really bad because you could tell that he had COVID because he didn't see a gym for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think it was really bad. It was just poor roster management. There was a lot of times where you look at the box scores and saw Grant Williams played 25 minutes. Peyton Pritchard's playing 25 minutes.
I was just going to say, too, Pritchard I liked. I want to see him grow more with the team. And, if they do move Kemba and they get a really good center, I wouldn't even mind if he started at point guard.
Yeah. See, that's the issue, though. Like, I love Pritchard, and I love Nesmith. I like Romeo. Like, I like all those young guys. Don't get me wrong. But that was Danny Ainge's problem. He never wanted to part with the young players. Like if something
No.
came along where he would able to get Seth Curry last season, say the Mavericks wanted Peyton Pritchard and Nesmith. You're telling me you don't go out and get a solidified guy to solidify your roster. Instead, you go with the rookie that maybe kind of struggled here and there this season. So it's like I'm hoping that Brad Stevens, he's well liked around the league. I think people started to hate Danny Ainge too because he
Yeah.
tried to fleece
Yeah,
him.
no, just go on Twitter. You'll see all Celtics fans have lost faith in Ainge.
Yeah, like he did really good. Like he had an awesome run. Won us. I'm not us. I'm not on the team. Won a championship 2008. Could have won a couple more if Kevin Garnett's knee didn't, die.
Yeah.
So, but they've been close past couple of years. They're on the brink. It's just they need to find the right roster configuration. But
Well, the biggest thing though is nobody on the Celtics team averaged more than 10 rebounds a game. Your highest rebounder per average was Tristan Thompson at 8. Nobody had anything else higher than that. Same with assists. Highest assist person was Jason Tatum at 4. You can't win games with those numbers.
yeah.
All these big teams and stuff, they have someone who averages 15 rebounds a game as their main guy, someone that averages 12 assists as their main guy.
Yeah, it's like those are like the leading guys. That's
But
super realistic.
that's not good though. That 4 assists on average per game,
No, I
and
mean
it doesn't
that's
get any
those are
higher
like
than
the leading
4.
numbers in the NBA. Like there's like one guy getting like 12 assists a game, one guy getting 15 boards. They just need if they had good. I mean, Tatum's a good rebounder. He probably gets like 7 or close to 8, right?
Yeah, they're a good like team
Wait, you said
rebounding
Tatum?
team.
Yeah, he's got to get close to 8.
So Tatum had 7.4
Yeah.
on average. So
they rely on their forwards to come in because I think Jaylen Brown had 6 or 7 a game too.
Yeah.
I know Smart had a couple, Kemba had a couple. It was like, but the roster configuration. We'll move on to like what I think that what they should do this offseason. Now, personally, obviously, a lot of people want Kemba Walker gone. I think that's pretty straightforward.
I think
I
you
don't think
have to for like just contract purposes to bring in
he
like
just
new
doesn't
faces.
gel. He just doesn't gel
No,
with the team.
we didn't get Charlotte Kemba, and
Yeah.
you're just overpaying for him at this point. I don't want to say he was bad, complete failure, because
No.
there's so many other holes. And I did like Kemba at certain times, but then he did let us down ultimately for his contract.
It hurt as well because we were never able to see the real healthy Kemba. Like if Kemba Walker stayed
Yeah,
healthy and then you saw he was still playing the same stats, it's like, okay, it didn't work. But there's also a thought in the back of my head like, okay, he's got chronic knee issues where he needs to get,
yeah.
it's
And just remember
it
this
just wasn't
too.
it just wasn't Kemba. That's just what it
Remember
was.
this too. The year before Kyrie's last year in Boston and Kemba's last year in Charlotte, Kemba was having way better stats and a way better year than Kyrie.
Yeah.
And that's who we thought we were gonna get. And
I just want to interrupt you really quick. I know we're not talking about this, but Anthony Davis just re-injured his groin.
yep.
Just want to say
Oh,
that.
yeah, contested water.
Well, I'm not laughing at his injury, but I said before there was no point of even playing him because it's a groin injury. You don't play guys on groin injuries after 2 days. It doesn't make sense. If it's a
No.
real groin injury,
Aaron, do you also want to know something?
what, Kyle?
Today's Thursday.
You're right. But to go back, you're a little special, Kyle.
I know.
To go back, I think that Kemba Walker just doesn't fit anymore. I think that the Celtics already have 2 ball dominant guys in Jaylen Brown and Tatum. You don't need another guy and a point guard, especially who's a ball handler. I think, like, I'm not
No,
saying
they
they're
need
gonna
they need to get
get
more of a playmaker as a point guard, and just
Yeah.
to I just okay, if they could get a point guard who's a good 3-point shooter and a good playmaker, not necessarily like high volume,
Yeah.
but just to do those 2 things. And
Who would you think that person would be? Just wondering.
Rondo.
Yeah, right. No,
Really, you
It's-
think you're gonna
it
get
sound-
Rondo back?
It solves it for one season, but that's a guy. I'm not saying starter, but a guy who just comes off and has no ability. He doesn't want to score. Like
no.
when you have Kemba Walker who demands 12, 15 shots a night, then Marcus Smart who has the shot selection of a 4-year-old kid that doesn't listen. So
Yeah.
it's like
I'm
just-
going to say this actually. For a point guard, what I want, I got to look at the free agents and potential trades before I give you an answer.
yeah.
But,
We could do another
if you
pod
can
on
give
that
me
too.
2 out of 3, 2 out of 3 of these things, that's all I want in a point guard. Defense, playmaking, and 3-point shooting. If you can give me 2 of those 3 things, I'm happy.
I agree. I want, and even though I just said about Marcus Smart and shot selection, even if they had the ability to just move Marcus Smart to permanent point guard and not an off guard, I think it'd be okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say he actually did pretty well in
Because he provides the playmaking,
opportunities. Yeah,
he provides the defense, and he's also under contract. So you could always move Kemba Walker
yeah,
or some sort of center. And like we all love Robert Williams. Well, at least me and Josh do. I know Kyle's not really a Celtics fan, but I think Robert Williams is a really good center for what it is, and he's got like he's not Clint Capella, but he's got Clint Capella. He plays like Clint Capella,
yeah.
above the rim, blocks a bunch of shots. That's what he does.
If you guys were wondering, I actually have the 2021 NBA free agents. If you want to give me screen sharing access, I can pull that up real quick.
Pull it up quick. Let's see who we can get. What we can do at point guard.
I think I gave it to you.
There we go. Can you see this?
Yep.
So here's the list.
Well, off rip, I see Lonzo Ball. I see a guy like Chris Dunn or Derrick Rose.
What about Dragic for a year?
Dragic's not bad, but he's
Most
not.
likely leaving.
He's got no defense.
No, and yeah, but playmaking and
I mean, it is Derrick Rose, but
yeah.
See, like guys like Chris Paul would be awesome to come in, but he's realistically can't afford him.
Boston.
Mike Conley, same thing. You're not going to afford him.
Lonzo Ball would honestly be perfect.
Kyle Lowry, you're not going to afford him. So like those top guys, just throw out the window. You're not going to get them. Dinwiddie would be interesting.
I actually liked Elfrid Payton. I thought he was a good playmaker, but like it would have to like he couldn't be like your only point guard. You'd need someone else as well.
Yeah.
Any other lists you'd want to see?
But if somehow they could bring in Lonzo, I would actually like that.
Show me the centers.
Yeah, let's look at the centers too.
Just for the heck of it. Centers, okay.
Are you kidding me? That's the best. Oh, Jared Allen, but he's gonna get his he's restricted.
The only one that's kind of worth looking at this list is either Serge Ibaka or Daniel Theisbeck. Everyone else, because the Celtics honestly were better offense. I meant to mention this earlier too. When they have a center who could spread the floor, or a big man that could spread the floor. So like Robert Williams, he's a smaller center, so he's already at disadvantage because he's 6'8", 6'9". He's not tall. Like he's tall, but not center tall.
No, yeah.
But Ibaka is 6'10", 6'11", but the ability to stand at the corner, stand on the wing, stand on top of the key, and spread the floor, and still have a block presence in the paint. That works. Or like a guy like Kelly Olynyk, who's not really defensively, but a guy who can come in and just score and spread the floor. Like that makes sense for a Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum led team.
Yeah. Now, what about like a guy like Nerlens Noel, just to like kind of split minutes with Robert Williams? I know it's kind of like the same thing. Like they're a very similar player, good defenders at the rim, high energy.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it, especially like a guy like JaVale McGee.
Yeah, we're not getting shooting there, but we are getting like guys who could finish lobs.
Our man Luke Cornett's a free agent too.
Luke Cornett, look at him.
Poor guy. But yeah, so
I don't know.
I
think at this point though, you'd have to trade for a center. I don't love this list. I do like Serge. I think he would do well. But
do you want to see power forwards just as like someone who could potentially play as like a center?
Yeah. See what's going on.
Too.
Same thing. Yeah. See, power forward. You got. I mean, Harrell wouldn't be half bad, but he's going to demand a little bit of money. Yeah. I mean, Bobby Portis isn't bad either. John Collins.
What about a sign and trade for John Collins?
You sure you don't want to sign Carmelo Anthony and put him at center?
Yeah. What about Lauri Markkanen too? Maybe the Celtics can get him.
I actually was just about to mention him, but he's going to ask for a bigger pay because this list is going by pay for this year.
Yeah, but luckily for Boston though, Lauri Markkanen, he's been getting worse.
He's getting kind of poopy.
Yeah.
Past 2 years, Lauri Markkanen has shot really, really bad.
Yeah, he did really well his rookie year. That's the funny thing.
And now he's not even really part of like he hasn't started in a while either. He's like their backup.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, these two lists of power forward and center kind of prove the point, like what you said, Josh. Like, you're better off trading Kemba Walker for some sort of
Yeah.
big man
I mean,
across
decent
the league.
options there. Don't get me wrong. Just nothing overwhelmingly
Yeah.
that like screams out to me. This has to be done.
Hey, I said last offseason that they should sign Christian Wood.
You
And
did.
now Christian Wood's an absolute steal for the Rockets, and
I
he's
know.
a guy who's a little bit undersized, but he's a good defender. He's a good shooter, and he's kind
He's
of like a
got length
hybrid
that
center.
kind of makes up for it too.
Yeah, he's
He's
like a
still like
hybrid center.
10. Yeah. Right.
So yeah, I just think that this offseason, I think we're all in agreements that Kemba needs to be traded and the center position needs to be kind of upgraded or solidified
Yeah.
a little bit better. And then
Yep.
you're going to get, I think, another mid-round draft pick. So, that's also not out of the
Yeah.
equation.
They're like somewhere from like 16 to 20, right? 16 to
Yes.
18
So you're
maybe.
going to get a guy, you could get a guy that's like Romeo Langford a couple years ago who was a top ranked prospect, but had the injury in college, which made him drop. So it's like you might be able to take another risk on a big man there. So, and there's also some
True.
guy like Taco Fall's not coming back, unfortunately. I love Taco. He's a great dude. I think we all enjoyed him as a Celtic, but it's like
Nah, they got to bring him back.
At
He,
some
he,
point-
he's just sitting there not really doing anything just because of how tall he is. He's not a fast player. He's just an awkward, like, he's a great guy, but awkward player. Like every movement he does is just so awkward. Like
it was
he
like
looks
watching
like
Scalabrini.
it looks like the Leaning Tower of Pisa.
Yeah, it's just it's also one of those end of the bench guys where I think if they had to bring him back since his bird rights, they would have to give him and Tremont Waters like $2 million.
Yeah.
And
Nobody-
$2 million to not get any type of progressional
Yeah, they'll just
minutes.
get another second rounder to do that. Yeah,
There's no point. I think they have an overseas guy that's some sort of forward that I think they have to bring in, or else it's against the cap no matter what. So
Oh yeah, true.
I know they have someone from last year, but
Yeah.
I think there are hits up on that topic. We can also talk who's going to be the next head coach, because now obviously Brad
Personally-
Stevens is president. So
Personally, I would love to see Chauncey Phillips. Great player, and I think he'd have the best mindset for this team.
he's also drafted by Boston.
Yeah, and that's right. Before he played for Detroit and Denver, he was a Celtic.
I think they really need to get a former player, like a former player that has some sort of Celtic connection. Like you just mentioned Chauncey Billups. I like Sam Cassell. I mean, he won a championship with us in 2008. He didn't really do much, but he was part of that veteran presence.
Yeah,
He knows what it's
came
like
in
to
with,
play in Boston.
KJ from Minnesota.
Yeah, like he won in Boston, so it was awesome.
Right now, according to SB Nation, the current list that they have, like from like top to bottom, not really in a particular order, but just top to bottom. They have Mike Brown, who's right now the Golden State Warriors assistant coach.
Mhm.
He was the head coach for LeBron in Cleveland. Lloyd Pierce, who used to be Hawks head coach. Vaughn, who's currently the Brooklyn Nets assistant coach. Sam Cassell, like you mentioned. Darvin Ham, who's right now the Milwaukee Bucks assistant coach. Becky Hammond, the Spurs assistant coach.
I wouldn't mind that.
Ronald Nord, who's the Hornets assistant coach right now. David Vanderpool, who's the assistant coach for Minnesota.
Give me give me death.
And then Juan Howard and Steve Clifford, who's the current head coach for Orlando.
Steve Clifford actually isn't half bad because he's always made the Magic relevant with their offense. Like they always had a decent team, but he's made that, like he made DJ Augustine like good. He made Vucevic into what he is now, because obviously Vucevic, what people don't understand, he started in Philadelphia and he wasn't really like that top guy. And he went to Orlando and he turned into a stud. And
it took him a while to develop too in Orlando.
Yeah. So I like
Not
a guy
while,
like Steve
he was
Clifford's
always
not
like
bad.
a fringe all-star, but like he really broke out under him.
And like same thing, Steve Clifford got Fournier up to 20 points per game, and now he potentially could sign back with Boston, and so it's like there's some sort of connection there.
Yeah, the reason I want Chauncey Billups though, because like I thought he was always like the perfect veteran, perfect locker room role model. His
Never an issue.
Grit, his grind and grit style. He was like one of those guys. Like he didn't overwhelm you with his stats, but he controlled the pace of the game. He was a good playmaker, good shooter. Like not like like crazy good at all these things, but like all-star level.
He was always good.
Yeah, he was always like pretty good.
He was on those tough Piston teams as well,
Yeah,
and he also played well with
that tough
the
mindset.
Nuggets.
Yeah,
I
I
got
don't.
I
think
got
that's
a, I got a question to ask you guys. What would be your guys' thoughts if Jeff Van Gundy, who's currently on ABC for
No.
basketball coverage, what would be your opinion if he was to be
No.
the head coach?
He's the
Absolutely
most
not.
annoying person I've ever met. Well, actually, not met. I've never met the guy, and I hope there's nothing.
He's
He
kind of
is-
funny as an announcer, though.
He's just the most annoying commentator announcer ever. Just he doesn't stop talking. He might know basketball well. Congratulations. That doesn't mean you should be the coach of the Celtics. It's just like he's just super annoying. There's nothing. Even people around the league don't really enjoy him. He's just you can tell that half these guys, a
I
lot of
think
these
he's
players
funny.
always coming at him too.
He's a jackass.
Yeah, he's
His brother doesn't even like him either.
yeah. I don't want either Van Gundy, the fat one or the skinny one. I don't want either of them.
I think they're both out there just to make everybody laugh.
Stan Van Gundy went to the Pelicans to make Zion skinny, and then he didn't succeed.
Nope.
Made him fatter.
By the
Yeah.
way, the
A
Suns
lot
are
of
up
gumbo down there,
18
dude.
in the first quarter right now with 1 minute and 10 seconds left. Sheesh.
Wow, the NBA is actually gonna let this happen. Never
Yeah,
thought
I
I'd
know,
see
right?
that. But yeah, no thanks on Stan Van Gundy. I'm perfectly content with Billups. I'm content with Sam Cassell. Or my third option, like I was saying before we started recording, I would love Nate McMillan. I think he's done really well with the Hawks squad now because he took over for Lloyd Pierce, like you
Yeah.
mentioned, Kyle, on that list. Lloyd Pierce was awful this year at the Hawks, and they have loads of talent, so that's a little scary if Lloyd Pierce
Yeah,
is the
I can't
favorite.
see Atlanta
Or one of
though,
the
letting him
favorites.
go. I really can't.
Oh, me
They're gonna
neither.
prioritize him,
Me neither.
But he would be good. I think he'd be a good fit.
I'm only basing that off the article I read a couple days ago, and they said
Yeah.
some coaches in the playoffs currently would interview for the Celtics. So Nate McMillan might be one of those guys on the list because he's only an interim head coach. So, but yeah, those would be my top three options. I mean, and the Celtics could be fixed. They could go get a good center. They could trade Kemba Walker. That doesn't mean they're going to win next year, but I think they'll be way more enjoyable and way more competitive.
Yeah.
And
Marcus Smart might be worth looking to trade too.
he's on the
just to
last
get,
year of his
new
contract.
faces. Yeah.
So
Like obviously we all agree something new just needs to be done. Whether Kemba and Smart go or just whatever.
Brown, surprisingly, Jaylen Brown might be a trade candidate this offseason too.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, honestly. I don't want to see it happen, but if they can get a good haul, it would sting a little, but in the end it could be worth it.
Like Jason Tatum's really good friends with Bradley Beal. I would not hate it if Jaylen Brown was in some sort of deal for Bradley Beal. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's gonna happen. It's not realistic.
I don't want to say that Bradley Beal's overrated, but watching him in the playoffs and just like these past 2 years in general, I don't want to say that like his stats are empty because he does it on good efficiency.
Yeah.
But the Wizards just have too many problems. But at certain points, like he just with all his like good scoring, he just couldn't even take over games ever.
Yeah.
One coach that potentially might go to the Celtics, I think is a very long shot though, but CBS somehow has a lead and believes that Jason Kidd could be one of the Celtics big ones that could be the head coach.
I saw that too actually.
I don't know who their sources are, but it's kind of interesting considering that Jason Kidd right now has a good position at the Nets right now, so it doesn't really make sense why he would give up that position unless it was to make more money.
Is he on the Nets? What is he?
Jason
Kidd coach?
Oh no, I'm thinking of Steve Nash.
Yeah,
I think I don't know what Jason. I know Jason Kidd. It might be the Lakers.
Yeah, I think he is an assistant somewhere.
I think yeah. I don't mind Jason Kidd because he was on the Brooklyn team as a coach with that old squad after with like Pierce and Garnett and stuff, and then he was part of the Bucks team
in 2018
before the Bucks took over like as like a top force. So it's like he kind of just got like the short end of the stick. It reminds me kind of like of Mark Jackson on the Warriors.
No, Mike Budenholzer, he did a way better job with that.
Oh no, definitely.
To be honest. But you do have to give
Definitely.
credit to Jason Kidd for letting
Yeah.
Giannis run the point guard and
Mhm.
truly breaking out.
Yeah.
Credit due where credit's due, but yeah.
I don't think there's really much else to talk on.
Well, there's just one last point I want to make about the Celtics. Well,
Go
one
for
last
it.
question rather. What wings would you want to see come in? Like ideally, Kyle, can you bring back up that like free agent list? Let's look at shooting guards and small forwards too, because obviously like Neesmith and Langford, they're just not contributing at the level that we need.
What do you want to see?
Can you bring up like
Shooting guards.
shooting guards and small forwards? I want to see what we got for options at the wing position.
If they were to draft someone, I would like Davion Mitchell.
Yeah, he's not going to fall that far though.
Probably not, but I would like.
Corey Kisper would be great, a nice spot up shooter.
So let's
Who can create his own
see.
shot.
Wayne Ellington wouldn't be half bad if you want a shooter.
Yeah, which they do need. Malik Monk.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Restricted free agent though.
Yeah, he's a great shooter though.
Denzel Valentine, he stinks. Garrett Temple.
Alec Burks was really good.
Yeah, Alec Burks, it wouldn't be bad either. Norman Powell would be too expensive.
Yeah.
Josh Richardson's not really a shooter.
Plus, he's on both of them are on a player option, so I'm assuming they'll just go back to their team.
Yeah,
I like
Fournier.
Oladipo a lot, but not worth the
Fournier
contract.
would mind resigning.
Yeah.
Tim Hardaway Jr. wouldn't be half bad either.
He'd be great, honestly, but I think he's going to stay in Dallas.
I still can't believe
Like
JJ
some-
Redick's getting $13 million for how old he is.
No, he's not getting that. No way.
That's how much he's getting this year.
Oh yeah, right.
I think that's ridiculous.
Can you bring up small forwards really quick? We have
Who do we need to bring in?
we have 3 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Yeah, we got to
before
wrap
this
this
ends.
up quick.
I just want to see small forwards quick. Yeah, I mean a guy like Trevor Ariza wouldn't be bad if you're looking for just like, just shooters. Torrey Craig wouldn't be half bad.
I feel like Trevor would be like a 1 or 2 year kind of person. He'd be very short term.
Yeah, he's already.
Oh, definitely.
old anyways, he's 36.
Justice Winslow wouldn't be bad. I mean, he's not a shooter, but Doug McDermott would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But yeah, guys like that, I think. But yeah, I think that's done with the list. But I agree. Nesmith, I'm okay with giving another year, but Romeo, like I would personally like to keep him, but like Romeo's not. Like if he's part of some sort of trade, it's not gonna make me cry. I'm not gonna be upset that he gets traded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's gonna be it for that. Unless there's anyone else want to add last Celtics comments, we might just have to let the offseason just play out, honestly.
Yeah.
Just see how it goes. It all starts with the coach, and then I think that's when the philosophy will come in and how they want to make a roster. I think Brad Stevens knows what he wants in a roster, and I think that some sort of fast-paced coach is going to come in because they have a lot of smaller centers, faster centers, and then quick forwards, and so. But yeah, I think that'll be it. And then just quickly go back. Anthony's Jewelers obviously is our sponsor. Phone numbers here, links on top of the page. You guys see their deals. You guys see the book appointment on the bottom. Their name, email, phone number, get everything in there. And if you guys go, make sure you guys let them know that you came from Little Rhody Sports Talk. And I think that's going to be all for today. And we'll have a couple more videos next week, another hockey one probably, maybe a playoff one coming this weekend from Mr. Josh and Kyle. And then, yeah, that's all. So hope everyone has a good night.
Before you end it, I gotta just show something.
Dude, there's less than a minute.
Goodbye, Lakers. It was nice having you, but y'all stink.
You're gonna jinx
Goodbye. You're eliminated.
When we post this Saturday and the Lakers have a 20-point comeback, it's not our fault. It's Kyle's fault.
It is, yeah.
I'll take the blame.
Everybody blame Kyle if the Lakers.
But
stay
right
in the
now they're
playoffs.
gonna get eliminated. I'll put money on it. I'll go to Twitter right now and put money on it. But that's all I gotta say. Have a good night, everybody.
All right, we really gotta end this.
All right. See you,
Have a
everyone.
good night.